Users, Alexio Viragait, and today we're gonna talk about contractor versus freelancer. I've been on both sides, and when the market was up, freelancer was pretty good. When the market is down, of course, you want to secure your jobs, you want to get a contract jobs that will last as long as the contract is active. Okay, I'm gonna talk about two of my jobs that I'm actually doing, my schedule, hourly rates, and actually how you can get a contract job in this economy. And what are the ArcViz versus 3D artists? What are the skills and what are the jobs that you can do in order to enlarge and expand your spectrum of workforce? All right, so I'm going to start from giving you an example and comparing ArcViz to 3D artists. So basically, ArcViz is the one that's doing architectural visualization for real estate, and it's kind of locked in that volume of architectural work, and it doesn't really goes and spills outside the lighting, rendering, maybe some VFX for water and fire. While 3D artist is the one that actually can go and get much more interesting jobs that last long and maybe even can come in and extend your contract and give you a little bit better variety of things to work on, things like Unreal Engine, VFX, VR, medical, accident reconstruction. So you can see when you're a 3D artist, you actually can go much broader with your jobs. So let's talk about ArcViz. ArcViz got 3 stages, and on those stages, you really need to know where is best to be a freelancer and when is the best time for a contractor. So the first 2 stages are design stage, when you're just figuring out the architectural design, and the development stage. This is where you trying to come and bring things together. So from sketches, which is the design stage, to development stage, where you actually draft and draw and trying to submit everything to the city. So at that stage, it's best for you to work as a contractor because you don't know how much work there is. You can actually go even to the office and do that type of work because you don't want to have different miscommunications going on. That will just cost you more time if you're doing it as a freelancer. Freelancer basically charges, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000 per image. It's locked, and then within that he needs to finish the image and provide the best result. But it can be very dangerous for those that don't work on approved stage. So when the whole thing being approved, submitted to the city, and you basically done designing, this is the best time to take that job as a freelance because you can say, okay, I'll do that pretty image. I know how it looks. There's not going to be changes, maybe like minor things, colors and stuff, but there's not going to be any changes to geometry, design, furniture models. All that stuff is already locked and approved. While in the previous stages, you do have to, mess around, move to the left, bring it back, delete it, all that uncertainty that architects going through while developing, you have to take into consideration. And even though if you do take a project as a freelancer, you have to limit it to 3 revisions. You cannot take a project and say, oh, I'm going to charge $1,500 for one image, which is pretty good, right? $1,500 for one image. But if it takes you more than 3 weeks to do, if you do it in a week, it's fine. That's how much it's cost, right? $250 per day. That's like the mainly daily ArcViz freelancer job pay. But one image is going to take you more than 1 week to produce. So in that case, you have to hire someone cheaper that can do the whole thing for $200, and then you just concentrate on making the detail, the lighting, the textures, make it cream de la crop, but not based on your hourly rate, based on someone that was able to create it cheaper, and you're just taking that to the next level. That's my approach in this. Again, if you do take that project, limit it to 3 revisions. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up in a loop. You're gonna start receiving those revisions, you're gonna start executing them, and you're not gonna be paid for them. That's the downside of being a freelancer, okay? Now, those freelance jobs, you really have to be careful with them because you're really limited to that particular crowd of developers, architects, and you're not able to bring any of your input. They all discussing things and taking decisions. You're just the guy that's executing those decisions. So in that case, you can always introduce VFX, to stand out. Water, fire, maybe some curtain wind animation, maybe things moving on the wind if it's animation. So you can always spice it up, but again, it's always limited to that architectural concept. While VFX and Unreal Engine opens you doors to other variations and other possibilities for getting those jobs. You can really get cool projects if you have those wide range of skills that you can bring to the table. So learning those extra additional things like Phoenix or Unreal Engine 5 can really get you cool contract jobs. Okay, so I just want to say one thing how I got my jobs for VFX. I did learn Phoenix. I did a little demo reel, and then I went to the boat show and I just, giving my business cards, and I had my iPad with me so I could show the reel. I was able to connect with people. So again, the day one is just everybody getting to know each other. Day two, you just passing by, hey, this, that. Day three, they have a party, people drink. So this is where you really connect. Again, it's not necessary that you're gonna get a project, but you're gonna get a lot of business cards that you can actually use later on to email them. And that's what I did. I got a lot of business cards. I went actually to the database of this boat show. I got all the emails and I did an email blast. And from that email blast, I got two nice projects. One was for Brig, it was a concept design for a new boat, and another one was Reef Runner. It's a local Miami company that's doing custom boats, fishing boats for clients. So I was able to use my skills that I learned from Phoenix in order to get those jobs and execute those projects. Okay, so just a side note, while I was doing this video, I went and I checked what's the Unreal Engine statistics. And the total download of Unreal Engine increased by 40% since 2020 because they introduced this Meta Human Creator that was launched in February, and over 1 million Meta Humans have been already created for next generation games, and it's a built-in inside Unreal Engine, so a lot of people use it. Brings a lot of exposure. Now, if you type in how many users for Unreal Engine, it's 7 million, so something that you cannot beat at all. Again, those are not active users that developing, those probably different users that using it for playing it, but 7 million is a quite big audience. If you compare it to Viri, obviously it's a huge difference in users. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there are no Vera users. There are a lot of Vera users, and they work for Hollywood companies that creating those movies as we speak. And Chaos Group just won an Emmy Award. So that just shows you how big Hollywood is. Here we have a nice picture of Vlado holding that Emmy. So yes, Hollywood uses Vera massively. All right, and that's not gonna change. Okay, it's only gonna go and grow. So you can find your niche if you're using Vera. You just have to stand out from this whole crowd that doing basically the same thing, like lighting, rendering, and texturing. Okay, so what I've been doing lately, I've been doing Tyflow, dynamic forces, crashing cars, different accidents, people fall from different things. Those cases are one-time cases, so they need to include a lot of cool graphics. They need to be representable. And I'm also using Unreal Engine. I've been doing this inside Unreal as well, not only 3ds Max. It's very easy to go and see from any angle. You get access to almost any camera view or something that you cannot do when the render is done. In Unreal Engine, it's all live, so you can go and check out what happened in that case. And I also do medical and the medical VR. I have a couple of those samples in the Momentum Engineering website and the reel. So if you're interested, you can go and check it out. Also, in addition, I'm doing lighting, rendering, basically building those scenes. So the entire project is a work of 3D artists that can combine all those things together and produce one piece. Okay, so everything has to be 100% accurate, and that's why I love it. It's a one-time project, and when it's done, it's done. It rarely it comes back. They don't really open cases after they finish. So it's a similar principle like the advertising or commercials, something that you do only once. You really put all your effort into the project, and when it's done, it's gone, and you move to the next one. That type of work that I like. I don't really like to move things around and mess with architectural designs back and forth and try to satisfy architects' needs. Okay, so how to get a contract job? Very simple. All my contract jobs I got from LinkedIn. You just go and search for a contract remote job 3D artist, and you will get a lot of those results. The market is booming right now for those 3D artists. A lot of new Unreal Engine jobs came out. So go ahead and check this search and see if you can find any good contract job that actually fits your skills. Okay, so when you do a contract job, when you find that, always try to fill up an empty space because you're getting paid for those 8 hours and you have to make it profitable for the company. If you do find those empty moments when you wait for materials, ask upfront to give you some old material so in your spare time you can work on potential reel. Companies really like that if you put your foot forward and actually give them option how you can be more useful and use your time more efficiently to produce really cool stuff for that company. Okay, so you gotta be also dynamic. When I found my first job at Courtroom Animation, it was in 2020. I had to move to LA. Then the whole thing with COVID happened, and I was able to go back to Miami. And since then, I'm working remotely. I moved to a new company called Momentum Engineering, also doing accident reconstructions. But I do log in from my home to their computer, so everything's secured. And since COVID happened, a lot of things changed. So, many companies now open for remote job. Okay. In addition, you can suggest to post cool graphics to promote the company name, and you can make free sample on, in your free time. You can make that little sample to hit a jackpot, because if you do, you'll be doing that more often. I tried to pitch that to my company, to put those things online, but my company unfortunately didn't need it. We have too much work. We don't need any advertisement. We don't need to promote our name. So we didn't need that, but at least I tried, and you can try too if you find a contract job. This can be something that can fill up those little, 30 minutes, 1 hour wait between communications. So you'll be more productive and will be more appreciative towards people that you're working with. Okay. Now let's talk briefly about the hourly rate, because hourly rate, your skills, location, it's all a combination of that pay that you're gonna get per hour. So New York and SF, those really expensive cities, in those cities you can easily ask for $50 an hour, 45. I was getting 45 in SF in 2014, and it was pretty good. Something that I couldn't really achieve when I moved to Miami. LA, somewhere in between, around 40 to 30, and Miami is around $30. Again, the life here is super cheap, so getting $35 per hour is a pretty good pay compared to the cost of living. Okay, something that you can never survive on in LA or SF. Obviously, also taxes are a little low here. Now, when you're negotiating, you have to know your exit, how low you can go. And that you can actually determine by doing market research. So your skills plus market research plus demographics will give you your hourly rate, how much you can charge. And that you can do by doing a quick look inside the Glassdoor. You can just type in, for instance, Glassdoor D-Box salary, and you will get a whole list of comments, salaries, and all the people that, posting, commenting, and giving reviews for that company. It's generally going to give you a whole new look of that company without going into too much research. Okay, so Glassdoor will be my first option if I want to know how much I can get paid in that particular company. Okay, so another good thing that a lot of working protocols have changed since COVID. So many companies are open to remote contracts, and that again you can find in all of those job searches. Just type in 3D artist remote and you will find it in a search. All right. So as I mentioned, I do work a lot, but I know how to manage my time efficiently. I actually have two jobs. I'm a part-time at Vera School and I'm a full-time at Momentum Engineering. And here I'm gonna give you a little break of my daily schedule. So I wake up really early in the morning, 4:30. I wake up naturally because there's some changes happen in my body and in my overall environment, which I'm gonna tell you now. But if we come back to my schedule, I do wake up at 4:30 without any alarm. I meditate for 15 minutes, and while I'm making coffee, I have this little coffee maker that takes 15 minutes to make, and it's a mushroom coffee. So I stopped drinking coffee, and my levels of energy immediately went up. Mushroom coffee is great because it doesn't include caffeine, it doesn't give you jitters, it doesn't have up and downs, something that tastes like coffee and you can drink it all day. It will give you pure energy and will have no crash. All right, so after that, I go to the gym. I do 2 hours, sometimes I do an hour, but again, my schedule is dynamic, but I give 2 hours to have my workout and some cardio at the end. And then I come home, I eat, I rest, I can take a nap. In some cases, if I do work really hard in the gym, but this thing is kind of dynamic. I can shift it if I need to and start doing my Vera School reading, learning, and taking notes a little bit earlier, because in the morning is the best time to learn things. Your brain can absorb a lot of stuff, and before you get into this everyday madness and start solving problems and dealing with things, before you do all that, if you want to study something new, if you want to learn something new, in the morning is the best time. Just put your phone aside, and concentrate on learning something new. Again, take notes, and I record tutorials. That's what I do in the mornings. Then I do a little 30 minutes break, and I start my contract job. My contract job starts at 12:30 because in LA it's 9:30. So I do 4 hours. Then I do 30 minutes break. I stand up, stretch, I look outside. Then I do another 4 hours and another break. So all those break I eat, obviously. I have food prepared, so I don't cook. I don't spend time on cooking. I found a good place that delivers me meals. I just put it in the microwave and it's ready to go. All right. And I closing my day by preparing stuff for tomorrow. So I go around 9:30, 10 to sleep, and I sleep for about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. Again, I don't do that every day. Sometimes on the weekend I can sleep in till 9 or 10. I allow myself, to get lazy sometimes in the weekends. But during the week, I do work really hard and I do go by my schedule because this is something that keeps me on track. Okay? Now, how do I do it? What's the main thing that actually happened in my life? The biggest change when I started waking up at 4 o'clock and everything, I got this motivation when Vera School was bought by Hotkeys Holdings. This is a holding that buying companies that related to educational technology. Okay, so it's a big hub of a bunch of cool companies that are communicating and talking between themselves and developing teaching algorithms, AIs, bots, and all that cool stuff. So Hotkeys is a big developer group. They have sponsors, they have a huge budget, so they able to buy high-tech companies, invest in them, and really take the company to the next level. So this is basically like a Shark Tank, okay? When I go, I present my idea, they liked my idea, and they bought shares of my company. So I didn't really lost Vera School. I just got investors so I can go in a direction that Vera School should go. So now, thanks to this collaboration, we're able to move our stuff to Hotmart. So all our trainings will be now on Hotmart. It's a really cool platform for launching trainings, communications, everything dynamic. And we're working on adding some cool AI bots that look like me that will teach you V-Ray, VFX, and Unreal Engine. Those are the 3 trainings that we're going to concentrate from now on. All right. And we're going to create new trainings. So this is the main idea. We wanted to get on a platform that's easy to manage, easy to update. It's fast and it's very responsive. So we can have all our classes and have no issues of communication or updating the content and so on. Okay, so our main idea is to create new classes on that new platform so you guys can learn the latest skills of architectural visualization and of course 3D, VFX, and Unreal in VR. Okay, so this is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. Hope it will give you more sense when to work as a contractor, when it's better to get a freelancer jobs. Again, the market is low. Now you want to secure your job, so signing a contract is the best way to go. Okay, so if you want to learn more about my journey, post your comment below, ask anything you like. So thanks again for watching. This is Alex, your V-Ray guy. Talks. Ciao.